Hello, and welcome to Build Your Best Brand, a free monthly virtual education series brought to you by Embellished Brands. I am Jamie Wright, your host for today, and I am the founder and CEO of Embellished Brands. We empower women led small businesses and nonprofits to confidently steward their brands and grow with purpose. We believe in a brand first approach, which means that building a strong brand foundation will ultimately support organizational objectives and operations as well as marketing initiatives. So, brand first, and everything else comes after that. Today's topic is adopting a CEO mindset. The focus of today's discussion is the mindset of women who are in leadership roles. The world tends to view the CEO position from a male perspective and often even a corporate perspective as well. But that's not the perspective we're taking today. Instead, we're defining CEO as a woman who is a confident and empowered owner. And for those of you watching who are leaders of nonprofits, we'll just define CEO as a confident and empowered officer of your organization. So this message will still apply to you no matter what type of organization you work in. First, let's talk about what mindset is and why it's important. Merriam-Webster defines mindset as a mental attitude or inclination, or a fixed state of mind. Mindset is important because our thoughts are a powerful and guiding force in our lives. And as a female business owner or a female leader, your mindset or your mental attitude is going to make or break your organization if it doesn't break you first. Business largely operates from a patriarchal lens, which obviously does not benefit women who are running their own companies, and especially those who do not have a background in business. Very often, our mindset can limit our ability to be effective leaders, right? Or whether we can or we can't, as the saying goes, so it is. My goal is to help more women feel confident in their roles as leaders, which is why we're even talking about mindset today. When we lack confidence in our position and we lack the courage to own the role that we are in, it can ultimately result in poor decision making and long term impacts. I am also speaking on this subject not only from my personal experience, but as a reflection of the many women I have worked with over the years, both as small business owners and those who are running nonprofit organizations. I have found time and time again that mindset plays an extremely large role in that woman's ability to lead her organization. So we're learning today from all of those experiences wrapped up together. So, we're now going to talk about what being a confident and empowered owner looks like. I just want to let you know that I love words and I love looking at definitions because I really like getting down to the origin of the words and what they mean and how we use them. So there will be a lot of definitions today from Merriam-Webster, but hopefully kind of helps build the case for that I'm trying to make for mindset. We're going to start with confidence first, which is defined as a feeling or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. The second definition is the faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way. And thirdly, the quality or state of being certain. Now, I have another definition of confidence, if you will, and this comes from a client of mine who also works with women in leadership. And she said to me recently, confidence is gained through two factors: knowledge and experience. We can gain knowledge from a variety of sources, from different resources that we put our hands on, from other people. And as a service provider myself and as a business and branding coach, I can help someone gain knowledge. But there isn't a substitute for experience, meaning experience comes from going through life. whether you want to think of it as, a school of hard knocks or whatever definition you might have. There's something to be said about just going through life and experiencing the things that we do individually and bringing those experiences and what we've learned into our roles. And I will say this, for me, this definition of confidence, or this perspective of confidence, really changed my own mindset about the work that I do and how I work with other women, because I do believe this is true. Um, I know personally that my confidence has um, increased, especially after very difficult situations. While I'm in the situation, it's not fun. I hate every minute of it. And I'm dealing with, lots of doubts and all kinds of negative things. But once I come out the other side, I often have found that I have this boost of confidence because I made it. I got through it. I was successful. I learned lessons. And now I have more knowledge and experience that I could apply to my endeavors moving forward. And so I found this to be true for myself. And so I wanted to share it with you today in case this perspective helps you too. So, really, as I've explained this concept to some of my own coaching clients, I see it this way. If you think about the perspective of confidence coming from knowledge and experience, you can have confidence that your current knowledge and your past experiences will serve you in your current work. And you can have confidence in the fact that you will continue to gain more knowledge and more experience over time. And those will continue to serve you as a leader. Does that make sense? So, where you stand today, you can have confidence in what you already know and what you have already experienced in life. And you can be confident that you will continue growing in your knowledge and you will continue having life experiences that will also continue to serve you as a leader down the road. Kind of a little bit of a different way, I think, of looking at confidence, but I hope that helps you feel better about confidence, especially if you tend to lack in self confidence, or if you tend to question yourself in your decision making. Think about it this way, think about confidence from a perspective of having both knowledge and experience. Everyone has knowledge and experience, and you will continue to gain more knowledge and experience. So just having the confidence that you already have what you need and you will continue getting more of it as you continue through life, and all of it can help you be a great leader. I hope that helps you today. Next, let's talk about empowerment. And that is defined as the state of being empowered to do something, the power, right, or authority to do something. And if we break it down to the root word of empower, that means to promote the self actualization or influence of. So, how do we apply that? Well, essentially, as the person who's leading your organization or your company, you have the power, right, and authority to do so. So, stand on that. Having doubts, that is normal. Imposter syndrome is absolutely normal. But don't let those things take you down. Don't let those things undermine your ability to lead. Don't let those things impact your decision making abilities. Learn to push past those doubts and continue moving forward in having the confidence and empowerment of knowing that you are where you're supposed to be. And if you don't think you're where you're supposed to be, that's another conversation for another day. But for those of you who know you are doing what you are called to do, stand in that confidence and know that you are empowered simply because you have the right and authority to be in the position that you're in. Let's now talk about ownership, which is defined as the state, relation, or fact of being an owner. The second definition for this is the quality or state of being accountable. And again, if we break down this larger word into the root word of owner, that's defined as a person who owns something, one who has the legal or rightful title to something, and one to whom property belongs. So I'm going to move forward and talk about actually the second definition of ownership, the quality or state of being accountable, because I think this is a much broader perspective of ownership, where, again, if you are a business owner and it is your business that you are running, then obviously you are the owner. But for somebody who might just be in a leadership position or someone who's running a nonprofit, they don't technically own the organization, but they are in a role that gives them ownership or accountability for what happens in that organization. So let's talk about that. In your leadership role or in your role as CEO or owner of the organization, you are accountable for your decisions. Simply put, that's just how it is. And because of that, ignorance is not an excuse. Let me explain. We often don't know what we don't know until there's a time we're supposed to know it. And then we find out, whoops, I had no idea. That is okay. It might hurt a little bit to discover that we made a bad decision because we were lacking in knowledge or other information that would have helped make a better decision. That's okay. But simply by virtue of being in the position as a leader, you are accountable. It's as simple as that. So have grace for yourself for being in this position. You will get more things wrong probably than you will get them right. So if we think back to our discussion about confidence and growing in knowledge and experience, remember you're always going to be learning and growing. So if you get it wrong now, that's okay, because you'll learn from this experience and hopefully you'll get it right the next time. But as the leader, you've just got to take accountability for that decision or whatever it was that happened. So have grace for yourself when things just don't go as you had planned or hoped. So to go down this path even more, that really means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. It also means getting comfortable with making decisions that may not pan out. And it means getting comfortable with being humbled. It's just the way it is when we are the ones in charge. We might try to control everything. And I think as women, we often do try that because we have a lot of things on our plate. And the best way to try to ensure everything goes smoothly is to control it as much as possible. I don't know about you, but I know for me, the harder I try to control things, the bigger a mess I will make. So that is where I learned a long time ago, the more I try to control things, that increases the likelihood that I'm about to be humbled in some way, because I will say something I shouldn't say or say something I didn't mean. I will make a decision that I probably shouldn't have. There's so many things that I could just get wrong as the CEO of my company, and just getting comfortable with knowing that you're not always going to get it right. I hope that helps take the pressure off of you as the leader, while also giving you more grace in just having that accountability, that ownership over the role that you're in the organization that you're leading. So let's take all of this and put it together. So today we're talking about having the mindset of as the CEO. So let's just start by remembering that running a business is hard. Running any organization as the leader is challenging. But as a business owner, you are building something that works for your life and not someone else's. So if it is you building the thing from the ground up, you're building it for yourself, or you're building it for your family. So you can build it into whatever you want it to be. And if there's advice out there that says, oh, you should do it this way, or follow my 5 steps for building a thing, or even from going back to the opening comments of this training, where you know there's a lot of mindset around CEO, or the perspective of being that corporate thing. Corporate principles are great for a large corporation in many cases. They may not often apply to small businesses. And in some cases, they may not apply to nonprofits either, even though most of these organizations are probably incorporated as legal corporations. Um, but size matters. Their services, the mission of your organization, all of those things matter for how you are set up and how the organization operates. So just keep in mind as you are leading your organization that there really isn't a one size fits all approach. You probably have to try and fail in order to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So don't be afraid to fail. That's where we bring back that humility. It's okay to fail, but also you'll just have to be accountable for the failure, and that's okay too. That is part of the job description. And don't forget that being an entrepreneur requires you to constantly become a better version of yourself. I've seen many variations of this kind of thought or statement recently on social media. And I really loved it because as I think back on my own experience of being a small business owner, I think this is true. I have had to just maybe habits or thought processes, or even confidence in my mindset, all of those things, many things about myself have been challenged during this journey of being an entrepreneur and a small business owner. And I think you might identify with that as well. So, again, this is why I think mindset is a really important topic for us to address as women who are leading organizations. So, tie it all together with a pretty bow as best as I can, to show up with confidence, empowerment, and ownership. So having that CEO mindset, I think you'll need to have courage to keep moving forward, having the humility to just accept failure, or that things maybe aren't going the way that you planned. Have grace for yourself and for others that you work with on this journey, and also having an attitude of experimentation. And that might reframe failure for some of you, where it's not so much that you failed, it's just that you found a different way that doesn't work and you experimented to find out what would happen, and you found out that that didn't work. Or maybe you tried something and it did work. So great. That's also a great lesson learned, right? So I hope from today's conversation puts mindset maybe in a little bit of a different perspective for you than you might have had in the past. And if I can help you continue growing and building the mindset of a CEO for your small business or nonprofit, I would love to help you. And there's a few ways that we could work together. One, you could simply follow along with Build Your Best Brand training videos. They are free. They're published on the Embellished Brands YouTube account, and I also will email links directly to the videos every time we publish a video. And if you would like to get on that email list, there's a link with this video where you could sign up for that. You could also book a one-on-one brand coaching call where you and I will sit for 60 minutes and we go over your questions or your concerns about the brand that you are leading. What it could be an organizational brand, or it could even be your personal brand. And I will talk you through your concerns, and we'll talk strategy, we'll talk ideas, and we'll give you some action steps that you can walk away from that coaching call with and make some improvements and take action on your own. Or if you feel that something just isn't working and maybe you're not sure what, or maybe it's bigger than just a 60-minute phone call, I would love to schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with you to chat about your concerns. Embellished Brands offers retainer services or even custom packages that would help meet your specific needs. So if that is you, then feel free to schedule that discovery call and we can talk about what your concerns are and how we might be able to help you address your concerns. So links for all of that are accompanying this video. So click on the one that works for you. So that is our discussion for today about adopting a CEO mindset. I hope you enjoyed this Build Your Best Brand video. We've got more coming. And meanwhile, stay connected. I'd love to see you on social media, and you can follow us at Embellished Brands on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. And if you want, visit our website at embellishedbrands.com. We'll see you next time.